Sunil Gavaskar never shies away from straightforward conversations. So when India won the Perth Test at the Border-Gavaskar Trophy, he lavished praise on Jasprit Bumrah and company. And now that they have lost the BGT 3-1, Sunil Gavaskar has actually criticized the Indian team. You can watch out all the videos of his exclusive interviews on Sports Today. And now, in his column for the Sydney Morning Herald, he has spoken about the Indian team in their tour of Down Under and Virat Kohli's antics in the series that India went on to lose 3-1. Well, Sunil Gavaskar on Kohli, he has said that what he really did with the shoulder bump with Sam Constance is simply not cricket. Indians are not shy to retaliate if provoked, but here it wasn't really the case. Now, if we talk about Virat Kohli, he really wants to have that chit-chat with the opposition players on the field. It really keeps him going, but at the very same time, the shoulder bump that happened with Sam Constance, from one perspective, it did look deliberate, but then in case of Kohli also, it does look like that maybe it wasn't really intentional or maybe it just happened. There can be multiple perspectives by which you really can look at it. But at the end, it did not really prove to be good for India because they lost the series 3-1, and all the sledging and all the banter that really happened did not really work in India's favor. And that's what even Sunil Gavaskar has said, that in this case, it wasn't the Indians who actually were provoked by someone. They were basically trying to provoke the Australian team, and at the end, it did not really work for Rohit Sharma and company. And that's what even Sunil Manohar Gavaskar has said, that what Kohli really did with the shoulder bump is simply not cricket. Well, he could have engaged in a few words with Sam Constance. Shoulder bump wasn't really required, and Indians are not shy to retaliate if provoked. But then here it wasn't really the case. It wasn't required at all. Now we can look at the shoulder bump from many perspectives, but then Gavaskar feels it wasn't really required. Now let's just move on. Gavaskar also said that Kohli must understand that whatever he does to react to the crowd actually puts a lot more pressure on his India teammates. It does more harm. Now, if we look at the keyword in between the lines here, it puts a lot more pressure on his India teammates and it does more harm than good. In case of Kohli, he's aggressive. He's aggressive by nature. It comes very naturally to him. Now, if he does try to put some kind of pressure on the opposition players by sledging or some kind of banter, it does put, that pressure back on the Indian players also, who would really want to, give it back to the Australian players once they decide to, sledge them. But then in all cases, as far as, all players are concerned, sledging does not really come naturally to almost all of them. It can come naturally to someone like a Virat Kohli, but it doesn't really happen with the likes of maybe, let's say, a Prasidh Krishna, or for that matter, any other player who would just want to remain calm on the field and go about their business in that particular way. But then, if they are being sledged, or, there's a banter that really goes on for that matter, it can rattle any other Indian player too. So in this case, maybe, just maybe, Sunil Gavaskar has a point when he says that it puts more pressure on his India teammates and it does more harm than good, because that is where you're not really backing your words with the performances or your actions with the performances, and that in a way does more harm. And that's what even Gavaskar went on to add when he said that with his continued failures to avoid nibbling at the deliveries around the off stump, Kohli failed to make the contribution that could have boosted the total. And that was really the case throughout the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. So if we just, separate two innings of Virat Kohli, the 100 in the second innings of the Perth Test and the 30 odd that he got at the MCG, well, apart from that, there weren't any notable contributions. Those repetitive dismissals not just hurt him, but at the very same time cost India big time in the Border-Gavaskar Trophy, and that's why they finished the series on the losing end. Well, maybe in this case, Sunil Gavaskar does make a point, and maybe this is also the right time for Virat Kohli to just take notice of the outside noise. And by outside noise, it doesn't really mean the white noise for that matter. It's basically the experts who are trying to help him by giving him some kind of advice. And maybe this is the right time to pick up his phone and make that phone call and make sure that his test career can prolong beyond BGT and also 2025. What do you think about Sunil Gavaskar's comments on Virat Kohli's antics during the BGT? And do you really think that what Virat Kohli did as far as the shoulder bump and all that sledging is concerned, did it really make sense during that series? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye.